Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Identity Insights by Indicio. I'm your host, Tim Spring, and we have something a little bit different for you this week. A few of our Indicio team members are on site at IIW, or Internet Identity Workshop, and we'll be bringing you up-to-date coverage of the week's events. Please bear with us as they are on site, and there could be some audio dips or static on the line, but we will do our best to bring you the latest from the conference. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Today, we are joined by Enterprise Team Lead Mike Ebert. Thank you again for joining me today, Mike. Would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself before we jump in?
Hi, I'm Mike Ebert. I'm the head of the enterprise team at Indicio. I've been in identity since I joined Indicio 3 years ago. I write server software, and I am excited to be at IIW.
Awesome. Well, yeah, for those of us that are unfamiliar, could you tell us a little bit about IIW? What is the conference all about?
So IIW is short for the Internet Identity Workshop. And so technology specialists, lawmakers, business leaders from all over the country come and collaborate and work on identity, starting with the internet, but for technology systems in general.
Okay, and why are you so excited to be there?
It's a high energy environment. The IIW is an unconference, so there's no set agenda ahead of time. The participants come and they set an agenda in the morning, and then they lead the sessions that they've called. And so you get a really dynamic, up-to-date, energetic conference. So it's a really fun environment to be in. And then I also get to talk to other identity nerds who have the slightest idea what I'm talking about.
Well, that sounds like a great time. So yeah, would you mind going into some of the, the highlights of the day? What were some of the best sessions that you attended, and what made them so awesome?
Okay, so my sessions today were there were a lot of sessions about governance and machine readable governance and human managed governance. And so those were two of my sessions today, was to look through the what other people were talking about in governance. I also went to a session about entitled "What Do You Want to Tell the Government?" So there's some government people who came to see how should they adapt to the identity standards that are here, or they're working on specifications and they need public feedback, and this is a good place to get it, and that kind of thing. Yeah, so basically a governance day. Government, machine readable governance, and written governance. That was my day.
All right, very cool. Obviously, I'm sure there's a ton of things that you learned or heard about today. I was wondering if there's any particular ideas that caught your eye. Either they were new to you, it was a new take on a concept you already knew about. What was kind of the new takeaways from the day?
So for the machine readable governance, I learned about some of the other groups' efforts that have kind of been percolating for the last 6 months. So the last couple IIWs, we've spoken to about machine readable governance and how to make that work. We've shared some ideas, and the sessions have gotten larger and larger. And this time, since 6 months ago, some of the people have worked on stuff. And so they got to show some of the things they had been doing. So for example, Alex from Checked had kind of a demonstration of some governance resources that he'd recorded on a ledger. And Dimitri and Nicole were two people who presented. They did a joint session, and they talked about some of the work that they have been doing with machine readable governance, but not in the credential space for years and years. And they decided to come and lead a session about how some of the lessons they learned could be adapted for verifiable credentials, so we don't have to learn lessons that have been learned already again. So those are some things that were good to learn about, from other people this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not sure if you remember, but where were they learning about machine readable governance then without the verifiable credentials? What were they using?
So there's a I wish I had written down exactly which organization it was. There's an organization that manages identity for universities. And so they had, they've been working with, it's surprising how universities actually have some very, very sensitive credentialing and access use cases where it's not just being able to get into the library or the computer lab. They have research facilities where, they're working with a particle accelerator or toxic chemicals or a level 4 biolab at a university. And so those are highly sensitive cases for making sure that someone is who they say they are. And so they had some technologies for managing those identities. And, but verifiable credentials have some strengths that those didn't. And so they're trying to bring the lessons they learned from all that experience and then help everybody update to, what works best, whether it be traditional methods or verifiable credentials.
All right, very cool. So I know, right, there's always the sessions and there's some, kind of side conversations had in the hallways. I was wondering if there was any particularly interesting conversations that you had where you just, you came away and you thought, oh, that was really cool, or to learn about, talk about, all that kind of thing.
I spoke to Kent Bloom in the hallway, and he has done something that has kind of eluded the credential space for a while. He's written a tutorial on how to use and understand carry and AC/DC. And that was exciting to me because I just have not had enough time to wrap my brain around it. And so to have a simplified resource to go to for that was pretty exciting for me. The number of government people here has grown. So I had some interesting conversations with particularly the DHS about how credentials could be a part of the government's strategy for managing identities and critical infrastructure. And that was, he kept apologizing for asking questions. And I said, you know what, number one, we have to get really good at answering those kind of questions because this is new to most people. And number two, he was a pretty quick study. He understood it pretty rapidly. And that was encouraging that someone at the government would be able to understand what we're doing and hopefully adopt some of it.
All right. No, that's awesome. And sorry, real quick, just because I know you threw out a few letters there. The DHS stands for those at home.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Department of Homeland Security.
All right.
What DHS is. Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Just wanted to clarify there. Awesome. Well, no, it sounds like a super cool conference. I know you've already had a full day, so don't want to keep you too long. But for those that are, considering going to IIW in the future, what is kind of the key selling point that you kind of took away from the day that you would say, if you're on the fence, this is why you should maybe come next year?
IIW has the broadest range of beginners to deep experts that I've ever seen at a conference, and it is friendly. And so if you aren't there yet, you can come and it will help you get there. You will understand identity better for having been here, and you will learn something and you will meet someone new.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks, Mike. I won't keep you anymore. We'll talk to you later. See you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you for watching. If you at home are interested in verifiable credential technology and you would like to learn more, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll continue to bring you some more educational content. If you have any questions or specific topics that you'd like for us to cover, please go ahead and leave a comment below, and we'll be sure to read and address them. Thank you.